A face among millions, lost in the noise of survival, hands rough from labor, dreams caged by circumstance. He had nothing but a mind that refused to die quietly. And that mind, that was everything, because every empire, every fortune, every revolution began first as a single thought in someone's mind. You see, the difference between those who live in mediocrity and those who rise to mastery is not fate. It's not birthright. It's the size of their thinking. While others saw the world as it was, this boy saw it as it could be. He understood long before he had proof that poverty of the pocket can be temporary, but poverty of the mind can last a lifetime. Every morning, he would wake before dawn, the air cold and heavy, his stomach empty, his hope fragile. Yet in that silence, he whispered to himself, I will not die this way, not in despair, not in limitation. He decided, with the only power he had, to think big, to imagine something so vast that it scared him. Because small thoughts never built great lives. When you think small, you play small. And when you play small, the universe gives you exactly that: small rewards, small chances, small results. But when you dare to think beyond what logic allows, when you believe that the impossible might just be possible, life begins to shift. Because your mind, once expanded by big thinking, can never return to the size it once was. The boy began studying those who had escaped the same darkness. He read of Edison, who failed 10,000 times, but called each failure a discovery. He learned about Carnegie, who started in a factory making $2 a week and ended up shaping entire industries. Studied Henry Ford, who was laughed at for believing he could mass-produce automobiles. They were all mocked, doubted, resisted. But they shared one thing: they thought bigger than their surroundings. And that's the secret. The moment you expand your thinking, your environment must either rise to meet you or fade away entirely. The boy realized that his greatest prison was not the world outside, but the limits he'd placed within. So, he began to see himself differently. He no longer said, I am poor. He said, I am becoming wealthy in thought. He no longer said, I have nothing. He said, I am building everything from nothing. Big thinking is not fantasy. It's the seed of creation. Every invention, every skyscraper, every billion-dollar idea was once invisible, a thought so unreasonable that it sounded insane to everyone else. But progress has never come from the reasonable. It came from those willing to risk ridicule for the sake of vision. The poor boy began to act as though he already owned the life he imagined. He stood taller, spoke with conviction, learned with hunger. His belief began to bend reality. People started to see something in him, a spark, a confidence that didn't belong to a man of his means. That's what faith does. When you believe deeply enough, the world starts to conspire in your favor. Belief, Napoleon Hill said, is the starting point of all achievement. But belief is not just words, it's persistence in motion. It's holding your vision when the facts scream against you. It's seeing the palace in the ruins, the diamond in the coal. The boy's friends mocked him. Dreams won't feed you, they said. But he smiled because he knew something they didn't. The dream feeds the soul, and a fed soul can move mountains. As he worked through days of hardship, he began writing his goals, not as wishes, but as certainties. I will become successful, he wrote. I will create value. I will lead. He wrote them with fire, not doubt. That's the essence of big thinking, to make your imagination more real than your environment. He stopped reacting to life and began creating it. You must understand, there's power in the unseen. Every great achiever had to believe before they could receive. They had to see it in their mind, when no one else could see it in their reality. The poor boy's greatest weapon wasn't money or education. It was imagination guided by purpose. And purpose is what gives thought its fire. Without purpose, thinking is scattered. But when you align big thinking with deep purpose, You unlock divine force. The boy asked himself daily, what am I meant to do with this life? And though the answer didn't come immediately, his search gave meaning to every struggle. Purpose transforms pain into fuel. Every rejection, every failure became a lesson in disguise. He began to see obstacles not as barriers, but as signals, proof that he was on the path of growth, because the higher you aim, the stronger the resistance. Life tests the size of your vision before granting you the prize. Most people quit in that test. They interpret struggle as failure, but the poor boy knew struggle means you're close. It's life asking, how bad do you really want it?